New blessings, new lessons, new money. Welcome to another episode of the Raising Vibes at the Treehouse Podcast. In this episode, we're diving deep into the benefits of you being your most authentic self. It's time to unpack and give you guidance on how to be the person you were created to be without worrying about the world's expectations of you. I'm going to challenge you to learn and unlearn the things you think you know about yourself. Let's dive in. The pursuit of self-enlightenment is in our human nature. Like, no matter how much the world changes, we humans tend to stay the same. There's a reason Plato and Aristotle's books, they still hold up and cut us at our core. And by that I mean it's the seeking of intellect, wisdom, and the meaning of life that is deep inside each and every one of us. Now, we tend to view ourselves from the world's perspective and at times through the lens of our own insecurities. What this do is it causes us to be out of character and it disconnects us from who we really are because we are overly consumed with the pursuit of pleasing others. Now, I do have good news. Today, we're going to flip them thoughts and we're going to build off of our positive thinking episode. And I'm going to help you become your most authentic self. I'm your host, Let Weaver, and I truly care about your mental well-being. It's understood that we can all be positive lights in this world around us. And my goal with this episode is to open new doors of thoughts and truths that lead to transformation. I thank y'all for joining me again. And before we move forward, I gotta ask y'all these important questions today. Do you find yourself changing and latching on to whatever the culture deems is trendy? Do you strive for perfection and this in turn leads you to be hard on yourself when you make a mistake? Yeah? Well, you, me, us, let's talk. Alright, so when you're staring in the face of the culture we're living in today, you may have a fear of being your true self. It has been ingrained in us that we have to live up to society's loose version of morality. And we've seen it even more so over this last decade that if we don't pass the test, the culture will try to cancel us and label us as something we're not. This can lead to people walking on eggshells and being passive and speaking about the things that they truly believe. This has led to an abundance of people just going with the crowd and letting culture dictate the thoughts and beliefs that they have. But not you. You're different. Like, you can think for yourself, but we can't dismiss the reality that we're living in right now. It's damn hard to stand up for something you believe in and be your most authentic self. The consequences can be detrimental. The loss of a job, you offending your little friend group, or my personal favorite, the displeasing of a family member's expectations of you. I mean, I think we can all agree that we've probably had to essentially pick a side over the last couple of years. It's becoming that polarizing, and frankly, it's setting our country back more than anything has in recent history. We went from just being Americans to having to be a Republican or a Democrat. And the way I see it is, it's just two wings of the same bird, bro. Right now, we have the opportunity to stand up for what we believe in and be our most authentic selves without worrying about the ramifications of what man thinks of us. This is where your identity comes into play. Having positive thoughts about yourself and valuing who you are regardless of others' opinions of you. Because their thoughts about who you are, they don't, and I repeat, they do not define you. You get your definition of who you are from the divine, and the world has nothing on you, and you don't need nothing from the world when you have God on your side. And yes, I am aware that some people listening are still on their spiritual journey and trying to discover who they are and what higher power it is that they believe in. So I won't go too deep on that today. Anyway, there are practical ways you can put your authentic self to the test. One of those ways is to be fluid. Now, you got to be okay with change. Be okay with saying that you don't know something. This right here is where the greatest knowledge comes from because it helps you seek, and seeking is how you find truth. Everybody already know that you don't know everything, so there's no need to pretend that you do. This is where surrendering your ego really comes in. Becoming your authentic self is stripping away your preconceived notions of who it is you ought to be based on your own ego and previous praises from men. We all have them. We all have those things that we think we gotta do because that's the box we found ourselves in. We committed to doing something years ago, so we feel like we can't go back on our word because now we may be afraid of what people might say or think if we reverse course. But you gotta be fluid, man. Being fluid is going with the flow of life. One day you may want to be an actor. Next day you may want to start a podcast. Ride that wave. Remove the thoughts of others from your own mind and just do the thing, bro. It's nothing wrong with following your passions. They come from your inner true self. They give you life. They give you meaning. They give you enjoyment. And they can even help you find your purpose in life. The thing will bring you joy, experience, and the opportunity to grow and evolve into the next version of your most authentic self. We are only a few decisions away from drastically improving our lives. It's time we stop trying to fit into the world's box of perfection and start living in a way that aligns with you. Being comfortable in your own skin is going to level up your character, goals, and achievements. And what I'm about to do is I'm about to give you a few mental tweaks and strategies to live in alignment with your true self. Now, I am manifesting and speaking this into existence when I say that my listeners really enjoyed the tip and guidance segment on my last show. Now, with that being said, I would like to discuss 5 powerful strategies to be your most authentic self. Before we do that, though, I want to best define what being your authentic self really means so that you can have a full understanding before we get into the strategies. Your authentic self is who you truly are as a person, regardless of your occupation and regardless of the influence of others. It is an honest representation of you. It's who you are deep down, the part of you that doesn't care what others think. Authenticity means that you have a keen awareness of who you are and what you stand for, and expressing yourself honestly and consistently to the world. It's about being true to yourself through your thoughts, your words, and actions, and then having those 3 areas match each other. Authenticity, it illuminates the path forward to live the life you want. And you do that by 1, exploring your values. When we feel we are lacking authenticity, it may be because we aren't living out our values. Do you remember a time in life when you felt truly alive? Like when everything felt right? What made it so special? Were there people there who made you feel more alive in that situation? And then in the times that you don't feel so good, what's making it so blah? Asking yourself direct questions can help you discover who you are when you aren't putting on that mask and pushing your core values to the side. When you get clear on those values, you'll tend to find it easier to make decisions in line with your authentic self. 2, you have to be aware. The ability to be present with yourself, no matter what's going on around you, is essential to authenticity. If you're always distracted by mental chatter or reacting to external situations, you aren't aware of your own state of being. As I stated in episode 1, The Power of Positive Thinking, a great way to get to know yourself is to be present with journaling. Loosen the grip of emotions by bringing them out of the dark. Journaling is an opportunity to let go of judging yourself. You don't have to correct your grammar or worry about people liking your writing because this right here is only for you. Practice taking a pause to breathe and then check in with yourself regularly throughout the day. Slow down, breathe, turn to a fresh page and get real about what you're thinking and feeling. This right here will strengthen your mindfulness and help you notice when you are being inauthentic. With awareness and being aware, you will find opportunities to express yourself fully and then take actions to show the real you. 3, find your tribe. Barbara D. Angeles said this quote that really stuck out to me. We need to find the courage to say no to the things and people that are not serving us if we want to rediscover ourselves and live our lives with authenticity. That means intentionally giving your time and attention to people who not only are true to themselves, but also support you in your journey. One of the most joyful aspects of life is having people with whom you can be your true, unfiltered self with. Sometimes we need that safe space where we can just be ourselves, and having people you can be your authentic self around is freeing and validating. Back to strategy 1 here. Take inventory of your social circle from time to time and surround yourself with supportive people who lift you up. The ones that encourage you to shine as your true self. They're the ones you can show your weirdness to, and they still gonna stick beside you regardless. They love you. Gotta embrace them and keep them around. 4, we gotta be assertive. Improving how you communicate, it can have a big impact on living your authentic life. Now, assertiveness, it is bigger than a style of communication because it's ultimately about value. Living our lives in accordance with our values and no one else's. It could take the form of communication, but it is more about how we act more generally. Some people tend to be passive communicators and they hold back sharing opinions. They tend to just go with the flow. You have aggressive communicators who dominate conversations and they fear to listen. They tend to put people down because it makes them feel powerful. It's like a false confidence. With passive-aggressive communicators, sarcasm and dishonesty blocks their way to an authentic exchange. It's like a refusal of them taking responsibility for anything. Practicing an assertive communication style, it ensures open, honest dialogue while still considering the needs of others. This encourages balanced conversations in which both people have a chance to speak. Being more assertive is the willingness to go after what's important to you even when it's hard. It means your decisions, speech, actions, and goals are all driven by your values rather than the trends of culture or the fears from that moment. Last but not least, 5, practice authenticity daily. You got to keep in mind that authenticity is a practice, which means that it takes patience, time, and dedication to doing it. Authenticity, it can feel like a big abstract concept, but when you really look at it, it comes down to your day-to-day actions. It's those small moments, the things you say, your decisions, your actions that add up to who you are. Taking small actions that align with your values can build your muscle of authenticity. And if you have not read Atomic Habits by James Clear, I highly suggest you purchase and read that book ASAP. Start honoring the authentic true you and sharing that openly with the world. Be honest with yourself. Being authentic is scary, and a quote from Mother Teresa said, "Honesty and transparency makes you vulnerable." Be honest and transparent anyway. Vulnerability ain't easy, but accept the challenge anyway. Why not? Everything we've been through has been nothing but a motivational story for others anyway, so why hide beneath fear now? Walk in faith knowing that what you do is a direct reflection of you. I conclude this with, we are naturally hard on ourselves, but with this pursuit of becoming our most authentic selves, we will get to the other side of where we are right now. When you start seeing yourself as perfect, you start losing progress. We all have room to grow, and this is forever and always. Becoming the truest version of you is a daily pursuit, and it's one worth chasing if you ask me. I personally encourage you to see yourself in the eyes of God rather than the eyes of comparison, self-doubt, and false exceptions that this world has placed on you. Affirmation stating that you are chosen to do good and be good can go a long way in your weekly life. Speak the words over your life you hope to see come to pass. Do you want success? Do you want to be your most authentic self? Manifest it and think of how you're going to get there and what it looks like when you are there. Speak positive words to yourself and to the others around you. Be a light, bro. Like, the darkness hates the light, and the good news is the light will attract more light. Good vibes will bring out more good vibes. And as you might have heard, we raising vibes here at the Treehouse, and I hope you enjoy vibing with me today. So go on and take what you learned today and use the truths that hit home to transform the way you think. I'm super grateful you decided to join me, and I hope you consider subscribing to the show and even sharing it with some friends who could use a positive message to start or finish their week. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll catch a vibe with you next week.